Hi, I'm Rachel. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, I am going to show you my first part of my Stephen King collection. I've been a fan of Stephen King for about, I want to say since I was about 12. The very first book I ever read of his was Desperation, which I will show you in a minute. And that was my introduction to King. And ever since then, he's become one of my favourite authors. So yeah, I'm just going to jump straight into the video. Like I said, I'm not sure if this is going to be the first part of my collection or all of my collection, because I've got some on my bookshelf, which I think you can just see there. So I'll get to them a bit later. So I'm just going to jump straight into the video. Now, these aren't in any order. Now, the first book I'm going to show you is Stephen King's Firestarter. Now, this book is about a dad whose daughter has the power to make things catch on fire, and instead these men that are trying to get hold of them. Next book I'm going to show you is The Dead Zone. Now, this one was also made into a movie starring Christopher Walken, and then into a TV show many years later, and I can't remember who played the Johnny, and who's the main character. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book. It's been a while since I've read it, and as you can see, the spine isn't that damaged, so I've only read it like literally once. So I might have to do a reread of all my Stephen King. The next book I'm going to show you is The Regulators. Now, this was written as Stephen King's pen name, which was Richard Bachman, and I can't remember what this book about. I think I've read it. I have read it, but I think it's been a long time since I read it. I think it's very similar to the sort of world that Desperation's in. But yeah, I've only read this once. So like I say, I might have to do a reread of all my Stephen King. I won't do that one for a minute. Next one I'm going to show you is Storm of the Century. Now, this is the original screenplay from the movie, which I absolutely loved, even though I guessed the ending of it, because it was a bit obvious. But yeah, this is Storm of the Century, and it's written, if I can show you, it's written like a script, which I've got. This isn't like this is one of my four original screenplay type books. The other three are Fantastic Beasts and Harry Potter. So that's Storm of the Century, and it's about this small town, and this evil man comes during a big storm for one of the children. It's a really good mini-series, and it's a really good book. Sorry if you hear any noise. This one I'm going to show you is the actual Batman books, which Stephen King, as I said, writing under his pen name, Richard Bachman. And this one actually contains the story Rage. Now, if you try and buy this now, Rage isn't in it because they pulled it from the print. But this is quite an old book, so I've managed to get this copy manages to have Rage in it. Next one I'm going to show you is one of his newer ones, and that's The Sundog, which I have not read yet. I've got a feeling it's going to be very much like Cujo. So I am looking forward to that. It's quite a small book, so it shouldn't take me long to read. And the next one I'm going to show you is another new one, and it is Evaluation. I haven't read this one yet, but I will get round to reading it eventually. Now, the next one I'm going to show you is one of his very first books, his very first book he ever wrote, and that's Carrie. I do like this book. It's very different from the movie, so those that's in the movie know what this book's about. I don't know why I've got 2 bookmarks in there. Just take them out. And yeah, so I really enjoyed this book, and like I say, it's one of his very first. It is his very first book. And this book never nearly got published because Stephen King threw it in the bin, and if it wasn't for his wife Tabitha, Carrie would have never been published. Right, next one I'm going to show you is Thinner. No, I have actually read this. Thinner is about a bloke who gets cursed by a gypsy, and there was also a movie. So that's that book. Next one I'm going to show you is The Girl Who Loved Tom Jordan. Or Tom Gordon, should I say. This one is about a little girl who's with her brothers and mother, and she gets lost in the woods, and the only thing that keeps her going is listening to baseball games on her Walkman. And so yeah, I really enjoyed this book. And if you're like a younger reader, like 11 or 12, then this book is the very first, it's the one I would recommend to start reading. If you want to read Stephen King, this one is probably one of those books that is more aimed. I really enjoyed it. I think I've only read it like the once, so like I say, I have to do another reread of that. Now, the next one I'm going to show you is Cujo, which I just mentioned. And Cujo's about a dog, a Saint Bernard, who gets bitten by a bat and then becomes rabid. And there was also a movie. Now, the movie wasn't that much cop. I didn't like the movie, but the book is good. Right, next one I'm going to show you, which is one of my new additions to my collection, and that's The Outsider. Now, I already have this book in hardback, and this is the paperback. I haven't read it yet. I really want to start reading it as soon as I get through my little pile of books on my bed. I have a pile of books that I want to read, and as soon as that pile cleared, I will start reading The Outsider. Now, the next one that I'm going to show you is The Shining. Now, this is actually my second copy of The Shining. I saw this, loved this cover. I think this was around Halloween. They brought out all these covers. Because you can get, I don't know how well you can see that, you get Christine, Sal and Vagabond. But yeah, I really love this book. I do have the, this cover of The Shining, which is up on my bookshelf, but I have this one as well. And I love this, this is like Danny walking through the halls of the hotel. I really enjoy this book. I think it was one of my earlier Stephen King books that I read, but I have not read this one yet. Even though it's exactly the same book, I haven't read it yet. I will, like I say, I will really give this book and all my other Stephen Kings a reread. It might take me a bit for a long time, but I will start rereading them. Now, the next one I'm going to show you is Dark Half, and I think I've only read this once. Now, this is about a writer who had like the split personality, and I think there was a movie. I can't remember the movie. I know I've got the movie, but I can't remember what it was about. Next one I'm going to show you is The Night Shift. Now, this is a collection of short stories. One of them is, let's see if I can get to the, I think one of them is Children of the Corn, which, for those who've seen the movie, know what the movie is about. Oh yeah, it includes Cat Eye, Children of the Corn and Graveyard Shift, which I've all of these movies I've seen, and I have read this, but I think I've only read this like the once. So like I say, like with all the others, I'm going to have to give this a reread. Now the next one I'm going to show you is Gerard Game. Now this one was been recently made into a Netflix film. It's about a couple who goes to a cabin, and he handcuffs her to the bed, and then he dies, the husband. So she's left on her own, and it's one of those. It's more of a thriller than a horror, because she starts. I won't give it away, but yeah, that's Gerard Game, or Gerald Game, should I say? Now the next one I'm going to show you is, if I can reach it, is another short story book collection, and that's 4 Past Midnight. Now I'm not sure what is in this one. Oh yes, the Langoolas, which was made into a movie. Secret Window, which movie starring Johnny Depp. The Sundog. Oh, so it was actually a short story. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh well, I might have to see if it is actually the same book. I might have to give this a reread, and then read that one, see if it's the same story. But I didn't know that. This one I'm going to show you is Dolores Claiborne, which was another book that's been made into a movie starring. This one starred Kathy Bates. She also starred in Misery. Yeah, I did like this book, but I wouldn't class it as one of my favourites. I've only read this one once, so I might have to give that a reread. Next one I'm going to show you is Wendy's Button Box. Now this was a short story, and I enjoyed it. He wrote this with Richard Chisma. I really enjoyed it. It's about this girl who, this mystery man gives her a box, and you press certain buttons on it, and I really enjoyed it. It took me a couple of days to read, but yeah, it's a good book if you want something short. Now the next one I'm going to show you is, oh god, if I can lift it, is The Stand. The Strand. Yeah, The Stand. Now this, I think I've read it a couple of times, but this was made into a movie, well, a mini-series. I really enjoyed this book. It's like apocalypse type of story, but yeah, it's really good. It's about this disease that spreads everywhere, and these people who haven't contracted. Yeah, it's really good. It's one of his earlier ones, and yeah, I enjoyed it, but it did take me ages to read, and I don't know why I've shoved all this. Like that. But yeah, I really did enjoy this book. The next one I'm going to show you is my second copy of Pet Sematary. Now I do already have this one, but it's starting to fall apart, so that's why I bought this. I actually got this one yesterday, and it's like the cover from the movie, which I haven't seen yet. I haven't even read this one yet, but I will be giving this soon. Like I said, as soon as I've cleared all my little book pile, I will be giving this a reread. Now next one I'm going to show you is Flight or Fright, edited by Stephen King and Bev Vincent. Now this is just a collection of stories, short stories. I think one of them is by Joe Hill. Yeah, Joe Hill, which I can't wait to read this book. I haven't read it yet, so I can't wait to read this one. Next one I'm going to show you is one of my favourite books. Well, my favourite book of Stephen King, and it's also one of my favourite movies, and that's The Green Mile. Now, I love this book. There's a line in it that always makes me cry, even in the movie, that John Coffey says. He says, "I'm tired, boss. Mostly I'm tired of people being ugly to each other." But this book, like I said, this is my second copy of The Green Mile. My first copy fell apart, where I've read it so many times. I like to reread this once a year, and I've just recently finished rereading it. I really loved it. It's one of my favourite books. Yeah, it's one of those books that grabs you right from page one, and it's not typically a Stephen King. As soon as you think Stephen King, you don't think of him writing something like this. But this book was, and it was also made into like 6 like mini novels, but this is the one that's got all of the books in. So yeah, I really enjoyed this book. Next one I'm going to show you is one of my new books for my collection, and it's The Colorado Kid. Now, I haven't read this one, and it's a hard crime book, so it's kind of like Joyland, and this is the illustrated edition. Yeah, so I can't wait to start reading this book. Right, next one I'm going to show you is Needful Things. Now, this also was made into a movie. It's all about Castle Rock, which I have not watched the TV show yet. I have to watch the TV show first. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book. It's been a while since I read it. It's about this book shop that people go in, and if they want to buy this item of their desire, if they want to buy it, they have to do deeds for this shopkeeper. Like I say, it's really good. Yeah, I will probably give this a reread like with all the others. Now, the next one I'm going to show you is one of my least favourite books, and that's Tommyknockers. Now, this is more sci-fi than horror, and it was also made in a film starring Gillian Anderson, Sully from X-Files. But yeah, I'm not really keen on this book, so I'm not going to waste much time talking about it. Right, so I'm not going to waste much time talking about this book. Next one I'm going to show you is Desperation. Now, I've got to be very careful with this cover because it's starting to fall apart. Like I say, this was one of my very first books that I ever read. It's about a small town. This couple who gets... it's about this small town, and the travellers get put in prison for no particular reason. It's very creepy. I think the Regulators is set sort of like around this time. But yeah, like I say, I have to be really careful because the book is like really, because it's so old, it's starting to fall apart, and it's still like got all the original covers. That's that one. Next one I'm going to show you is book 2 of the Dark Tower series, and it's the drawing of 3. Now, it's a bit hit and miss with the Dark Tower series for me. I enjoyed it, but it's not one of my favourite set of books. So yeah, this is book 2. I do have them all. Right, next lot of books I'm going to show you is some of my hardbacks. Most of them are up there, but I have some of them that were in the cupboard. This is 11/22/63. Now this is if I remember correctly, this is a book about yeah, JFK, President Kennedy, who got killed. But it's about a bloke who has to go back in time to change history. I haven't read it yet, but I know there's been a film about it, which I haven't seen. I'm looking forward to reading this. Like I say, I don't have this in hard paperback. I only got it in like hardback, so it's okay. I can't wait to read this. Next one I'm going to show you is Sleeping Beauties, which is a book by Owen King and Stephen King. I have not read this one yet either. I've had mixed reviews about it, but I would like to make my own opinion. So as soon as like I said, as soon as I've read all that lot over there, I will be reading this one. I think it's one of his relatively new books. But yeah, I can't wait to read this. Now the next one I'm going to show you are some more Dark Towers. Oh god, this book is really dusty. Some more Dark Tower books. And this is Walls of Cecilia, I think it's called. Now this one's book 5. This is book 5 of the Dark Tower series. Now this is where I started really getting into it. From Wizard and Glass, I started getting into them. The first 3 I wasn't really interested in, but this is Wolves of Scalus. Callus. So this is book number 5. And I think they brought out all the books, the last 3 books, relative together. I don't know what the... but yeah, I can't wait to read this book. I had read it once, but I can't wait to do reread of it. See if I'd grown to love the Dark Tower series. Okay, this is book 6 of that, and it's Songs of Susanna. And again, I love the artwork that's in the front of it. I'm not sure where this book came out. I'll have to find out when this book actually came out. This was 2004. Sorry about that. This was 2004. Yeah. And the last one I'm going to show you for this part is the actual 7th book in the series, and that's The Dark Tower. Now, I really enjoyed this book. Again, beautiful illustration. It really ties in everything to go with The Dark Tower. And I can't wait to do another reread of this. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Now this was just a quick video, well not quick, 23 minutes long, but this is just a video just showing the very first part of my Stephen King collection. I will be back very soon with another video. Thank you so much for all the support, it really means a lot, and I'll be back very soon.